On this ecological restoration trip, we've traveled across highlands, the desert, the wild frontiers, cities and towns, big and small. We've covered China's northernmost and southernmost parts. Our last stop is Hainan province. Our mission in Hainan is to save the coral reefs in the South China Sea. Hello.
Janis, hello.
Hello, Liu Changyu and Yu Xiaolei are from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, the CAS. They are doctors from the South China Sea Institute of Oceanology. Hello, so you cultivate corals?
Right. Yes, we're going to show you some areas in the Urumqi Island where we're working to restore the coral reefs.
Sure, I want to join you there. Liu and Yu, both PhDs in marine biology, are research fellows at the CAS South China Sea Institute of Oceanology. Their team has been dedicated to saving the coral reef ecosystem in the South China Sea. This place is?
This is Urumqi Island of Sanya.
Urumqi Island?
Yes, in the past 30 years, the quantity of nearshore reef-building corals keeps dropping by 60 to 80%.
By 60 to 80%?
Yes, it's quite serious.
Yes, that's very serious.
Scientists estimated over 80% of coral reefs in China disappeared in the past 30 years. And the rate of how the entire coral reef ecosystem is disappearing on Earth is alarming us to take action.
Not just in our country, but around the world. Over half of the coral reefs are in a state of sub-health.
If the corals fall ill or die, how will it affect the eco-environment?
Degradation of the coral reef ecosystem is like desertification of the undersea world. The idea is the same. It's like when there are no corals, fish, and species living around the reefs will disappear.
They are all linked.
That's right. When typhoons come, our shorelines can easily get eroded away. Coral reefs can help protect the shoreline. It's like ensuring the safety of our territories.
To save the coral reefs, the CAS South China Sea Institute of Oceanology, to which Liu and Yu belong, embarked on an attempt to restore the coral reefs 30 years ago, along the coast of Hainan, the Xisha Islands and Nansha Islands. Today, we are following them out to sea. I'm going with the professor undersea to plant corals, so I must first learn how to dive. This is my first dive, my very first time.
That's all right. This gray one, like a vest, is a buoyancy vest. When inflated to a proper level, it can float. Once we let the air out, it helps us sink bit by bit.
Should I breathe through my nose?
Through this, via the mouth.
It should be through this.
Right, breathe through that.
The doctors and the team are ready to start work too. There is such a lot of fish down there. The undersea world is so beautiful. I can't go too deep because it's my first time. But I can already feel how beautiful the undersea world is. I did see some corals. You don't need to go very deep to see the corals. Some have been damaged already, bleached. The doctors have gone deeper into the sea to plant the new corals they have cultivated, hoping they'll grow back again, bit by bit, saving the aquatic ecosystem. Though they've already got their doctor's degrees, they chose to leave the university and go to the forefront, diving deep into the sea to collect coral eggs day after day, taking them back to the lab for cultivation and then replanting them at the bottom of the sea. This project was totally unprecedented in the country. They could only find their way out in the dark undersea world.
Corals are animals. They live beneath the sea and can't move. How can they live? They depend on a kind of algae that coexists with them. The most suitable temperature is between 20 and 28 degrees. Beyond this range, the zooxanthella will escape. Corals will get bleached. Temperatures keep rising globally. The seawater is becoming more acidic. Plus other man-made factors, emissions of pollutants and all, are causing degradation of the coral reefs. So if we want to restore the coral reef ecosystem, we first have to cultivate corals artificially. When we first attempted to do it, we encountered many different problems. Like the nails we use for transplanting, we've modified those many times to adjust to different landforms. We keep learning from experience and adapting.
Where did you go?
We went down to a reef by the side, and we also went to check on some corals we transplanted in 2016.
Really?
Yes, they're growing quite well. It's a species that grows flat, like a table. It has grown really big.
Really? That's great.
Yes.
To plant corals underwater, is it like planting trees in the ground?
Yes, the coral reef ecosystem is also referred to as the rainforest in the ocean. Those of us on coral reef restoration are often described as making a forest under the sea. Outsiders may think we're diving every day to see some fish in some beautiful spots, or we're taking a holiday out there. But actually, the oxygen tanks we carry, the gear weighs 30 or 40 or 50 kilograms a set.
The gear is very heavy, and with funding for the project limited, they can't afford to charter a boat to sail to the destination every time. Sometimes they have to carry the gear on their backs and swim out to sea.
We'd swim out with the gear on our backs, kicking all the way out there. We have to go against the waves. The waves may get really big, so we have to fight hard against the currents. That's really strenuous.
Like fighting to overcome them.
You can really feel that cramp in your legs.
Wow, it's so hard to hold on, but you keep going.
We go underwater for 3 to 5 hours every day, or even longer. That really affects our health.
Planting reef-building coral is complex. Collecting broken bits of corals, drilling, hammering, cutting the pipes, threading. Every step involves carrying the heavy gear. When it's growing season, it's even harder for them because coral spawning usually takes place late at night. They have to go late at night to observe and take records. And they don't just do that once or twice. They must keep tracking and monitoring for over 10 years to get to know the coral's mode of spawning. They then collect the eggs by hand. In the process, they often hurt themselves. I see your hands and face. Those are scratches from that?
Because there's shellfish on the corals. I probably got cut by that. Dr. Yu Xiaolei got such a bad sunburn last year that there's this big blister on his leg.
You can get a sunburn underwater.
No, that's because when we got back to the shore, the sun was so strong because we can't use a sunscreen.
Why?
Because there are ingredients fatal to the corals, so we don't put on sunscreens.
You can't use a sunscreen, even when you could get sunburned.
Right. The other thing would be the low temperature. It's freezing. You'd get so cold that you have hypothermia.
One time we were diving somewhere in winter. Since it was winter, the water conditions were really bad. You can't see far, maybe just up to 10 or 20 cm ahead.
We had to feel our way through.
We almost couldn't see anything.
The project is really tough, but the next year when we went back to check, and we found the corals growing really well.
Really?
Yes, very well. And you could see the corals growing together to form a piece, colonies after colonies.
Turning into something like a forest.
Yes, then you find that an area that once was so bare with no fish has all kinds of fish now, like sea cucumbers and shellfish. You feel so content.
Yes, very excited. After hard work by generations of scientists, the newly cultivated reef-building corals have started to multiply. Desertification at the bottom of the South China Sea has begun to come under control. Coral reefs are like a tropical rainforest in the ocean. With a surface area of less than 0.2% of the ocean, they provide a home for almost 30% of the underwater creatures. But in recent years, coral reefs around the world are at a state of emergency. Bleaching is happening everywhere, even at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. These once beautiful underwater rainforests have turned into a graveyard of corals.
Janis, hello.
Hello, so this is your base for research.
Yes, this is the CAS Hainan Tropical Marine Biological Research Station. I'm going to introduce you to the director of our technology section, Madam Huang Hui.
Great.
This is Madam Huang Hui.
Hello.
Hello, Madam Huang Hui. So you're the legendary coral mother.
Now a coral grandma already.
You have many babies here.
Yes.
Your sons and grandsons are all here.
Yes.
Coral Mother Huang Hui is the leader of the coral reef restoration team. She has spent over half of her lifetime guarding corals in the South China Sea. Since she spent so much time underwater, her health has been affected. In recent years, she is mainly stationed at the base grooming new blood for the project. Born in Jiangxi, Huang Hui first came to the South China Sea in 1990. She said there were so many corals you could see them from the shore.
You could see all those reefs. There were many corals.
So the corals were close to the shore.
Yes. We call that the intertidal zone. You can see them at low tide. Really good back then in 1990.
In 1990,
Yes, but that's all gone. Forever. Can't see that again. We used to say the Xisha Islands was paradise for fish, shrimp, shellfish, and algae. But what have we got now? Corals are equivalent to the trees. Trees grouped together into forests. Living in this garden are many other living things. It's a home to marine living things. If the coral reefs are gone, if the rainforests are destroyed, where can those living things go? The tigers, the leopards, or the elephants living in the forests will have nowhere to live. They can't survive.
Huang Hui says the coral reefs are actually critical to human survival.
They protect the coastline, like the tsunami in Bali. When a big wave, a tsunami, hits, if you have coral reefs, the irregular structures of the reefs can absorb the power of the waves. And on the shore, you can have windbreak forests and mangroves to absorb more of the power. But that tsunami in Bali, there were none of those around. The coral reefs were gone. There were just beaches. The mangroves were removed. There were just hotels. So there was nothing to shield the place. The waves could roll straight in.
That is why their team has strived hard all these years to replant a forest underwater to fight natural disasters. Huang Hui says at the start of the experiment, almost 90% of the corals they planted would die. Construction work along the shore was creating more sludge and sediment. All the newly planted corals in the area got killed, and there are other man-made factors.
In fact, we've worked our way through frustrations all along. Say, for this area, when we first started the restoration project, we set up some shelf structures. The next minute, they were gone.
Gone.
Because the fishermen had towed them away.
Really?
The hardest to handle were man-made issues, things you never thought about. Like when we were out at the Zhongsha Islands. Many Vietnamese fishing boats were throwing bombs around to catch fish.
Throwing bombs into the sea?
Yes, blast fishing.
Blast fishing?
I found that so dangerous. You could hear the sounds of explosion.
And there's a tough issue. That's their limited funding. Every time they set sail, it costs a lot to rent a boat, pay for fuel and manpower. Any mishaps means money wasted.
Say, for this project, we have 1 million yuan. We can sail out and complete certain missions within 20 days. But after just 5 days out there, if there's a tropical cyclone or a typhoon, we have to come back in for shelter. A couple of days later, when we're about to go again, another cyclone might strike and we'll have to come back again. One time, we were so frustrated. After just 5 days of work, we used up all the money. We had to work hard to find funding elsewhere and see if we could cut our expenses somehow.
Even when they found funding, they would encounter new setbacks.
The water conditions are fine these days. We must set out. But then, we needed the approval first, so I would anxiously call them every day to urge them. They'd say, "Not yet. Permission hasn't been granted. There's this issue and that." When the approval was finally granted, it would be the typhoon season again. What to do? We would get so anxious. I always give our team encouragement. They'd say, "It's so hard." I'd say, "If it's not hard, who would let you do it?" If it's not hard, why would people ask you to do it? You are doing something that others can't do or others don't want to do. If you can manage, you're showing your worth. You're showing your strengths.
Doing something others can't do or are not willing to do, the CAS South China Sea Coral Reef Restoration Team has planted over 150,000 corals in the waters of the South China Sea, restored over 200,000 square meters of seabed to stop desertification in the sea. Hoh Xil says that's just the beginning, because artificial cultivation of corals can only be limited to a certain area. Their target is to increase the number of coral species, hoping to create leverage effects and to ultimately help the ecosystem go back to self-restoration and multiply. With greater environmental protection awareness, an oceanic department has been set up in the Urumqi island of Sanya, specializing in underwater rubbish removal. Brother Wang is from the Marine Department of the Urumqi island. Brother Wang, I understand that you and your brothers often go diving for marine environmental protection operations.
That's right.
What kind of rubbish or things have you seen underwater that you find the most amazing?
The most amazing was a huge, massive fishing net called the mesh net. The biggest we picked up was close to 1,800 meters long.
So big. We're off to pick up garbage.
This is an island, so there are rich resources of fish. The fishermen would go fishing and their fishing nets might cling onto the stony corals. These nets can cause serious damage to the underwater ecosystem. Massive amounts of fish can get killed. The corals will die too. Now the tourists, we can't say everyone has stopped dumping rubbish everywhere. Some ocean-going ships, perhaps when no one is watching or whatever, might still dump rubbish into the sea.
Just now we found this PVC pipe, a plastic pipe,
Right.
in the water.
It must have floated in from the ocean.
We must pick it up. All this is rubbish we picked up from the seabed.
This should be a mesh net.
So this is a mesh net.
Yes,
This is a mesh net.
with 3 layers.
Yes, last time we solved tools for electric shock, blasting and poisoning in the Yangtze River. This time in Hainan, we see the mesh net, all illegal.
The shellfish is stuck. This one here is still alive.
Right, what's this?
A sea cucumber.
It's a sea cucumber.
This is a brown crab.
And there's a crab here. It's still alive.
Yes, still alive. The more it struggles, the tighter it's trapped.
What's this?
Coral is dead.
These corals got stuck and they're dead. It's okay now. Our operation to save coral reefs has come to an end. It also marks the end to our trip on ecological restoration, our season 2 of No Poverty Land, a treasure trove. The filming process's time has called for more patience and perseverance than ever before. We also came across various issues. COVID-19 has struck again. We'll have to be quarantined again. or our travel carts will suddenly carry an asterisk. We're packing our luggage again. During the quarantine period, this city is locked down, and after 14 days, our flight is suddenly cancelled. From the Tibetan plateau, we went all the way to the source of the three rivers. We went along the Yellow River, the Yangtze River crossed the desert, arrived at the frontier, and finally came to the ocean. This journey has reminded me, someone who grew up in the city, that this world is not just about concrete and electronics. There are mountains, rivers, and animals too. Humans can't live on this planet just looking after ourselves. There are things that seem so far away, and we might ask, why am I involved? Yet throughout this journey, I've seen many who think they should care.
I have witnessed this vast degradation in the eco-environment. I feel so distressed. I hope I can do something about it.
I dare not say about heaven or earth, but at least I have kept my promise for my father. I'm giving my youth to it.
It is my sincere wish that this land can change for the better.
But if my own river, this wonderful environment, dies and the ecology disappears, the Yangtze will become meaningless. With no fish, how scary it would be for the Yangtze.
Our generation have suffered so much from the harm done by the desert. I don't think we should let it do this to our future generations or let it affect their future.
I want to be a scientist specializing in waste recycling.
In this world, the power of nature is amazing. Humans or any other living being, we are all equals.
If we treat them well, they'll get close to us. One day, I believe, the number of elephants will increase. I'm sure they'll live in harmony with man. We'll see more scenes like this.
The most delightful thing is leaders of our state are paying special attention to environmental protection. That's so encouraging. As long as people need me, I can do something. That should be the last bit of value of my life.
All because they have been giving themselves, our planet hasn't been too disappointed. So this beautiful Earth, this precious species, won't disappear from the hands of our generation. Sustainable development is our true way to a no-poverty land.